Havoc versus Jesulin. It is game 1 of the series played on Crossing in the Woods, and on the north side we have Havoc playing as the Soviets.
And in the south side, we have the Spanish destroyer, Jesulin, the most dominant Company Heroes 2 player from a statistical point of view you will ever seen in tournaments. He's playing as OKW in this case, and he's looking lively and looking ready for war.
He certainly is, and we were just talking before this game about hoping to see that lovely light vehicle rush against OKW. Hopefully we get to see it because Tier 1 has gone down. Potential to see Scout Car versus Kubel in the early game. And Jesulin's favouring to go to the right side of this map. Something which I always routinely have a problem with when playing Xaxis from the south side. But I will trust Jesulin. He's a much better player than I am. And I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Don't talk yourself down.
You're right.
No, Jesulin, I mean, I hope he's been practicing. I have noticed he's been smurfing a lot, changing his name in the game quite a lot recently. Been practicing just in the build-up to this tournament. He was dormant for a while, and then yeah, he's gone full Jesulin for the past week, I think. So we should have him somewhere near to maybe like 50% of his 2014 self. But a 50% of former Jesulin is still like 90% of most players. So for Havoc, it's going to be a difficult task. But I have been speaking to Havoc as well, and Havoc tells me he reckons he might be able to steal this today. He's feeling confident. So let's see how well he does.
Yeah, I was just saying before, like, I don't know too much about him, but I'm sure he's going to be a good player. He's going for that light vehicle rush that I've been professing that I want to see, so I like him already. But interesting with Jesulin, like the last time we saw Jesulin in a major tournament was the Warpaint Championship, which took place in Vancouver in September. That's where I met him personally. Jesulin's a really nice guy. You can guarantee that even through the worst engagements in this game, Jesulin's there just like, oh, you know, this is really good fun and I'm glad everyone's having a good time. That was literally what Jesulin was like. It was disconcerting how aggressive he was in game, but how non-aggressive he was in reality. So let's just see if we get a little more from Havoc on this.
Havoc, of course, with the M3 rush after the Kubel, the combat engineers, who obviously haven't been able to get close to the flamethrower yet, so just using as a combat pairing at the moment. The Kubel's getting gunned down, pushed away. The Folks Gravy is able to follow in with some shots. I think that's a better play by Jesulin than it is by Havoc. I don't think Havoc's done too much there.
No, not brutal in the early game, and I think most people will probably keep the Scout Car a little bit further back when they wait for that Flamer to come on before diving in and committing with the rush. Scout Car probably, yeah, it's going to be able to easily get out there with the squad still intact, but I think he's missed probably the first big push from that. We should just address, by the way, Jesulin is not using a custom commander. That does not exist in this game. He is in fact brandishing his own trophy rather, from the Warpaint Championship. Which is a custom portrait of the Scavenge Doctrine. Jesulin edition.
That means you get second place in a tournament after finishing third originally. It's great. It gives a boost to your finishing position in the tournament.
So, pretty lackluster early game, actually. I thought we were probably going to see a little bit more from the Scout Car here. Kubel didn't go down. Havoc probably seemed a little bit unkeen to push that, but he may find it now as the Kubel goes over to the right-hand side to engage the penals. Havoc's found this with his own Scout Car, so he's going to be able to chase this down. Question is, can Jesulin summon the micro to get that Kubel out of there? What is looking to be an unwinnable engagement from the front side of this.
He just needs to get into the base where the flak emplacements are ready, or the flak filings, as Heroes 1.
Actually managed to do that, and as you would always say, using the bonus speed from the road to actually get the Kubel back into his base safe and sound.
You laugh. What's wrong with saying that? You just love AE cliches. You've literally got like Stockholm syndrome. You've been casting with me for 2 years now. So every time you say one of my cliches or steal them in my mind, you like chuckle to yourself.
I feel like if I could emulate your voice, I would be able to cast both you and me in games.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll let you have that one.
I've locked onto your phrases.
Yes, good. At least somebody has. At least I've inspired somebody. That's good.
What a ballsy Kubel here from Jesulin, going back in after getting repaired to try and contest the scout car. Meanwhile, Havoc's trying to wire off the middle to stop OKW from pushing through to that important strategic point in the center. It's the same Soviet build that we've been seeing all day. Triple penal battalions with the double engineers seems to be working very effectively for Soviets right now, and quite indicative of Lend-Lease.
This could exactly just be an auto-match game right now because, of course, Jesulin has gone for the Panzer II Luke's rush with the mechanized regiment headquarters being built. So, yeah, this is any other auto-match. It just feels like... basically, if you're tuning in, I'm not going to give any spoilers because this will be going on YouTube, but the best of 5 series, which they all are, of course, but the match between Aimstrong and GB has left us a little bit... shocked. It was amazing. So yeah, so we're waiting for this one to be a bit of a slow build just to get us back into the mood, and we want it to build slowly so we can start building up the hype and start basically recollecting ourselves for a different battle, 2 different warriors that are going to tell us a different story. So let's cleanse our palates and let's enjoy.
Definitely, and the first game in a best of 5 series is kind of like the feeler game. You know, I think both players, they don't want to maybe unleash their full strategies. We definitely saw that before, didn't we? But, you know, they just want to feel the other player out, see what they're doing, see who gives away their hands first, and then they'll be able to adapt in the later games. They'll be able to think, yeah, you know, what's going to work, what isn't going to work, what is he good at. So yeah, pretty standard thing coming in from Jesulin. He's going to be using medical supplies from the Sturm Pioneers as he's decided to go for mechanized straight away for that Luke's rush, which is going to be devastating to the Soviet scout car.
Yeah, the Luke's rush is going to, quite frankly, for lack of a better word, rape the scout car there. It's now a burning mess on the field, and the Luke's is... Havoc's got to be asking himself, oh, for God's sake. I mean, what I should have done here.
It's one of those things. I mean, I think if you're going to go for that scout car, and it's really unfortunate he didn't actually manage to close the Kubel in any of those engagements. So you've still got that huge capping power on the field now from OKW. You've got the huge defensive power from the Lukes. Will we see those penals get PTRS upgrades? No, because there's just no munitions flying around at the moment for this, and no mines laid down in the early game.
There is just one, and it is Havoc's on north of the VP there, but he's spotted it, and he's destroyed it.
Was it? I'm pretty sure he planted that mine, didn't he? Oh, did it go off and then he's planted another one? Because 100% Jesulin planted a mine there.
Yeah, there's another one planted, and it's by the Soviets, I guess, and
right,
saw it got planted and destroyed it.
Okay, that makes sense, because otherwise I'm just thinking, why would he destroy his own mine? Absolutely. Pro strats from Jesulin. Oh, this is nice. Luke's was well prepared for this retreat from the penal battalions. Kubel's also taking some shots in. The Luke's has nothing to contest it at all. There's no mines down, but of course Jesulin doesn't know that. PTRS upgrades on the penal battalions are now coming in, so Luke's does have to be a little bit careful. We'll be able to max range the Soviet army from across the river at pretty much no risk.
No risk at all, and we're now seeing Jesulin. He seems like he's on pretty much autopilot. It looks like he's on the rampage right now. Everything he's doing seems to be working. He's got a triple cap, double fuel. The Luke's rush has worked perfectly. It's only got 4 kills, but its impact on the battlefield has been, you know, quite terrific, really.
He's playing very, very well. I hope that his timing predictions don't let him slip here, though, because he's already lost the shoe mine in the center. T-70 is about to hit the field. He doesn't have the Raketten up, and we're about to approach 10 minutes a game, which is kind of the undiscussed golden rule for AT. If you haven't seen, or don't predict at least, what's going to come on the field, that penal battalion, will it go down?
Oh, it will not. The scatter at long range there from the Lukes was just enough to keep that thing alive, cutting a portrait around the unit as it retreated to base.
T-70 is going to go in to engage the Lukes. It might find rear armor as well. Jesulin a little bit careless there, but the first shot misses. Nothing's going to be able to Faust or snare that unit, so Lukes will easily get away. This is a very strong game, very strong early game for OKW from Jesulin.
Yes, this is exactly what, as I say, I won't draw too many conclusions with the previous series we've seen, but this is what you'd expect from a top-level player in against somebody that's he is seeded a little bit lower in the tournament. I think he's 24 versus Jesulin's 10. I'll just double check that. So yes, this is what you expect, but this tournament is full of surprises and full of great players. When Havoc says he's strong, and I believe him. I just believe that at the moment, Jesulin, his strategy has defeated his early game, so he's now going to have to do some serious thinking in order to get back into this thing.
It has been a rough early game, but Soviet's one of those factions that are very, very good for comebacks. They can use the demos, the mines are very powerful, they're a little bit of a gimmick nation, but they certainly do have everything that it takes to make those comebacks effective. Havoc's doing the right thing here, he's pushing the center a little bit, but also just making sure he's scouted the left side, and then he's going to go over and try and take that. Also trying to get fuel on the right hand side as well to stop the double fuel income for Jesulin. Something that's very, very important in case Jesulin does switch to Scavenge Doctrine, because we'll be seeing Ostwinds come out with the Lukes, and that would be an absolute disaster for this infantry build from Havoc.
God, it really could be. And I just think that we've now got the very, very interesting battle between the Lukes and the T-70, with one thing in Jesulin's sleeve that really helps him in this situation. That's the Rakettenwerfer, and I don't think Havoc's got anything else that'll help him in a similar way. So it's going to be possibly Jesulin to dominate the center still in this meta.
Well, that plane flying above should signal the doctrine choice for Havoc. That is, of course, the supply drop from Lend-Lease. Hopefully Jesulin spotted that, and this is probably more reason for Jesulin to quickly switch up to Scavenge, because the Ostwind would be able to deal with the supply drops as they come on the field, assuming it's not already in an engagement.
There you go, as well. The T-70 doing great work from afar there, pushing away the Stern Pioneers. You will notice, however, how Havoc has just nearly finished a double cap on the fuel. So we're
take down a T-70, loses the Volksgrenadier, but that is well worth it. He should be able to get a lucky shot if he's using ground attack. But wow, what a hit!
Why use ground attack when you're a Rakettenwerfer and you can sneak up? But he's not using cloak, and the Dushka could suppress him. Yes, it does keep the T-70 alive through the suppression.
Gosh, that was a really unfortunate loss for Havoc there. He did not manage to get away from that bait. Fortunately, he does still have the T-70 on his side, being repaired by the engineers. He should be able to get that repaired and back on the field. So, whilst a very good takedown from Jesulin, he doesn't get the reward of wiping that unit from the game.
Not quite, no. And that is not very good for Jesulin. That's one of those things that will really annoy you. I know you say he's a very calm fellow, but when you've gotten a kill with a Rakettenwerfer through cloak, and a lucky one at that, because obviously you have to get the RNG roll to go in your favour, and then to get abandon crit, it just it really smacks.
It is a difficult thing, but I mean, the RNG of that is that really, you know, especially with the abandon mechanic, it's a lot fairer than it's ever been, because you know, that's not a feature that necessarily Relic wanted to remove from the game, but they did make it as balanced as they possibly could by introducing the immobilization. So, you know, Jesulin could have decided, if he really, really wanted to, he could have pushed that unit from the flanks. Could have done everything he'd, you know, got basically and put it over there to try and wipe it. But I don't think he values it as that important. He's, you know, he's been perfectly fine with the T-70 on the field.
2 Dushkas on the field now for Havoc. The second one coming onto the field. That's 600 manpower spent on support weapons, but very, very powerful support weapons. Very reminiscent of the pre-nerf Maxim. Oh god, as the T-70 now the bane of Jesulin's existence as it rampages.
Oh gosh, nearly took that same combination again. Faust with the Raketten. Raketten getting a lovely long shot there whilst the Lukes comes in to try and clear the penal battalions. Probably will be able to focus on the Dushka as well, but this is an awkward retreat for these Volksgrenadiers who are low health. Very good save.
Not going to see any more Dushka sniping units on retreat when they're getting pushed away by the Lukes. Seen all done for that today. And this is the thing about crossing in the woods. Before you get all that medium armor in the mid game, the early game can be a little bit slow. See, people may be asking, why has it been chosen for the tournament, Grand Championship Series? It's because it's a damn well balanced map. It does actually have really good statistics for balance, and it does tend to wield a very competitive experience. So we should see a leveling out effect, and we should see a very good game in the long run for this one.
Games on Crossing the Woods have always been really good fun. I think it's because you have so many options, you know, there's so many ways that you can go, the flanks always have that, you're kind of forced into deep flanks, you're forced to commit to those. There's that Ostwind we were talking about, Ostwind-Luke's combination. Jesulin using his very own Jesulin edition Scavenger Doctrine Commander. It's got to be a great feeling to have a commander portrait of your own in this game.
Oh yes, it really has. You may just stamp upon the game. It's just like, it made me laugh so much when Devon, during that King of the Hill bout we saw him, he, by the way, realised that very day that he had a faceplate for winning Warpaint Championships that Rita Rush had made him. He's like, oh, I have this, okay. Like 6 months later, you know. I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, there's loads of little things like that. Nice having people's stamps on the game. Dan, I believe you've got a map in the game coming with Monolithic Bacon.
I've already had one out. Second is on its way, but I can't talk too much about that actually.
No ducks allowed.
What I can talk about is this potential demo that's going to squad wipe the Raketin if it pushes up across the river. Where did that guy go? Whoa.
What was that?
I've never seen that happen before.
Did it just come out of the closet?
Yeah, like some random guy just flew across the screen. Here's going to be the squad wipe. Volkswagen it is crossing the river to the munitions point. T-70's there for vision. There goes the first squad for Jesulin to a demo. How cheeky was that? How cheeky.
On my screen, it looked like the Folks Grenadiers had been bowled and they were the bowling pins. They just scattered like beautifully away from the explosion. Did you get the animation like I did?
I to be honest, I'm getting so many. My physics has gone crazy. Like the last week, but probably like since the update, my physics are just there's just things everywhere. You know, the occasional human just glides across the screen. It's beautiful. Here we go, double Raketins opening up on the M4C Sherman. It's a pretty bad situation for Havoc. He does not want to lose that unit as it's come onto the field. Jesulin needs to get the cloaking off of the Raketins so he can move them quickly up to the fight and chase that down. I feel like Jesulin's been a little bit pushed towards the mid area of this game when he was doing so well. And that M4C Sherman's going to make a world of difference for him.
I think he's still on top though. Just about, because his Raketin play is excellent. And you'll notice his vehicles close by to the light AT options, which can be very potent together. And now all eyes on Jesulin's 138 fuel and counting, and how he's going to spend it next.
I mean, surely he should go for the tier 4. I think that'd be very sensible for him here. He's got very, very decent munitions. Sorry, very, very decent fuel income, and he's had double fuel for portions of this game. He should easily be able to get away with that. Double Raketin should hold up against the M4C Sherman, so this is a good position for him to be in. Tier 4 should come on the way. Should probably look to get a Panther out.
Panther would be a very good option against what he's up against here today, with the M4C Sherman's most likely going to be utilised in numbers. That would be the strategy. Havoc sticking to it. It is a very meta-orientated strategy, but it's what he's using. And he's using it to okay effect so far, despite currently being under triple cap.
Jesulin needs to be very, very careful with those squads there, because the M4C Sherman can be very effective squad wiper when it gets the chance. Just doesn't have the pushing power. Jesulin's build at the moment is very good. It's going like very mobile, left and right, able to deal with the anti-tank infantry, able to deal with the Dushkas, but what he isn't able to do is push across to his opponent's territory. He's just going to be able to hold that triple cap, which is very, very beneficial to him.
Sherman, second Sherman. No, so it's not the second Sherman. It's just got not as many kills as I expected. It's got no kills so far. So I assumed, hang on, this can't be the one that's been on the field for the past 3 minutes, but yes, it is. It's been thwarted, it seems, thus far by Jesulin's very sneaky Raketin play.
Yeah, he hasn't been that lucky. I mean, he's got veterancy to suggest he's maybe landed 2 or 3 hits on the Ostwind. That's pretty much all he's had in terms of that. But early on, I think he was hold fire for vehicles, trying to just get away from the Raketins. Hasn't really had that much of an impact on the game so far. But we might be seeing that now, though, as he comes in for the Lukes.
There you go, first shot on from Luke, but the Raketins again in position. And Jesulin's doing great work with his positioning at the moment. he's having a strong front on the central victory point, and then being able to just position himself enough with overlapping arcs of fire to capture the victory points west and east.
I'm gonna say Jesulin's playing very, very well. Even when he gets pushed, he's showing great, responsible play. He's calm, responding to all of the threats. The build is good, and we're just seeing the headquarters tier come out now for what I assume is going to be tier 4. He could rush for King Tiger if he really wanted to, but I don't think that's a good idea on a map like this.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think King Tiger's play is very spread on a map like this. So I would argue maneuverability is what he'd be preferable. Can't rely on double Rakettans for too long. Not with now the second N4C truly being on the field. Oh, brutal from the Ostwind.
Actually get the kill? Get the full wipe?
No, it just disappeared from the map for a second, and the lone man finally regained the portrait icon as he runs back to base with his tail between his legs. That does happen from time to time. The portrait icon will disappear and then reappear.
Yeah, I've certainly seen that happen before. Havoc's got a pretty good build. Really struggling to keep it all synergized together though. Because it's so spread out, we see Jesulin pushing through to the strategic decap through the center. He's changed his mind, trying to go for the engineers that are decapping mid. But Jesulin's moving around with these pockets of very, very well built combined arms, elements. He's really, really good here. Stone Pioneers on the retreat path for the engineers. Like, he's planning all of these things meticulously. Whilst Havoc is just getting bounced left to right, and I haven't really seen that his directions have been particularly great so far.
No, he's not been able to basically use what he's got in an effective manner. He's not been as aggressive as he'd like, and he's not had the rhythm and the timing that you would want him to have in order to be as aggressive as he'd like to be. Jesulin's basically played that. So.
Ketten trying to stealth cap the munitions there, forced to retreat due to the low health. Knew that the Penals were going to win that engagement. And that's the kind of game sense that keeps Jesulin with these kind of units alive for long. He really does predict those very, very well. Always got his eye on the top right-hand side of the screen, seeing exactly what's going on. And there's just no breaking him at this point. May lose the Raketnet to a satchel, but once again, Jesulin's well on top of the situation. And the manpower bleed for Havoc is just huge against these anti-infantry weapons.
And he'll soon be finding himself in a manpower sink where he wants to keep bringing these tanks on, but he can't. And at the moment, it seems Jesulin has everything he needs to keep repelling him.
There we go. Raketten goes down. Finally, Havoc gets a little bit of a break, and this is the chance for the M4C Sherman to come in. Jesulin's not able to recruit it due to the suppressions. This gives Havoc a chance to either recap the Raketten or just destroy it to deny Jesulin from using it against him.
And he's definitely going to go for the cap, but it is a risky cap on it. Can't have been the Vet 2. Now Vet 3 could be stuck in an animation loop of death. No, it's fine.
No, that was a close one, because I think he was actually already capping with the engineers. He just noticed it to stop himself from losing that Flamer squad, because he would have done had he have capped it with the 3 men. Some nice infiltration nades on the left, and Havoc did not spot that quick enough. I wonder if the Vox Grenadiers can clean that squad up before it retreats.
Ooh, Yagged. Panzer here is coming onto the field. Great choice for this map with long open corridors of play.
Yeah, it's a really good choice. It's the kind of vehicle that makes me think that Jesulin isn't particularly looking to take 3 VPs in this game. He's probably just going to have the one channel that is restricted to the Jagdpanzer 4, and then also just make use of 2 Rakettens on defensive. It's not really one that's going to be able to push the flanks in the way that a Panther would. Oh gosh, great takedown of the Penals.
My. What's very pleasing, by the way, is Lend-Lease Tactics has a really low win rates in this tournament so far. I think a lot of people were worried that Sherman spam and Dushka play was going to be supreme. But Soviets aren't quite as strong as they used to be, and I'm waiting to see how players adapt and which is very funny because obviously Jesulin's playing, and he coined that catchphrase for the community, hashtag adapt. But I'm very, very keen to see how players adapt their Soviet play, because I don't think the Lend-Lease is working at the moment.
Jesulin missed the opportunity for a triple cap there. He's going to go for the denial of fuel, something that's pretty important to him, given that he's already got the counters on the field for his opponent's supply drop from Lend-Lease. Now he's going to go to decap fuel to just stop those M4C Shermans coming out on the field, or at least stop any further teching for anything that could counter the Jagdpanzer IV. Again, like one of these, you know, when we get into the situation with these games, we've got the double Rakettens in there. Something like a Katusha is always a great clearing tool, but that committal to the M4C Shermans, to the call-in, actually really denies him what he needs to close this game. Come back to this game, sorry.
It's a very expensive unit to keep calling in if it's not going to be effective. And all the while, he could have gotten tier 2 and gotten a mortar out of all things, which actually would have been surprisingly good. Here we go, we've got Sherman with its chance to shine against a two-man Foch and they're retreating. But it's not quite having the effect Havoc would like it to have right now.
Havoc's finding this very, very difficult to break through Jesulin's lines here. We also forget, of course, Jesulin does have a huge amount of munitions stocked up at the moment, 450 coming in. He's going to be able to use the Scavenge 105 artillery to just kind of to soften up the entrance to Havoc's base, so that he can go in there and potentially look to just push in with the Ostwind.
That's what he'll be looking to do. To try and exploit that until he's got absolute core contingency ready to go, and he's hit that maximum overload function Jesulin's renowned for. He has been, by the way, criticised for being a 100 pop cap player before, which means he's very cautious and he won't go all in until he absolutely knows he can win. It has made for very famous games, Dan, if you remember, like Jesulin Barton, for example.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, in that game, the Jesulin Barton game, the classic one, was just Jesulin, you know, not listening to his own phrase. You know, he didn't adapt in that game. I love this playstyle.
The Ostwind could finally be going down now. Sherman's coming in, it's kiting, he needs another shot, it gets the kill! Sherman hitting Veterancy 2, Ostwind down, and here goes the second Sherman also taking a shot against the Jagdpanzer.
Yeah, Jagdpanzer IV needs to get to work here. Faust was delivered to the M4C Sherman. The Jagdpanzer is going up to try and get the sightlines, but there's nothing to scout for it whilst the Volksgrenadiers are taking suppression from the Dushka. So a very good Dushka in the center there from Havoc, who's trying to claim back 2 VPs so that he can let this game go on for a while. He's called in another M4C Sherman, which actually he's going to get a decent mass of these together, which may cause huge problems for this Jagdpanzer IV.
Really could, but in the meantime, the Jagdpanzer's doing okay. He's got Rakettenwerfer in support. Oh, there's 2 Shermans coming down the left flank now. The Jagdpanzer looks dead. It's run into its own tank trap. The Rakettenwerfers are trying to help out.
Oh no, it looks like he may be able to get the M4C Shermans out there. Raketten sets up, but I don't know if it's got the arc to get the last shot. Lukes is going in for the rear armor shots. I think tier 4 contributed to that as well. So 1 M4C Sherman down, but it takes with it the Ostwind and the Jagdpanzer IV. We had a long shot from the Raketten there. What really needs to happen here, though, is the Lukes needs to chase Vet 5. It's so fast. Is he going to give it a go?
Might just do that. The T-70 is going to be covering, though.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. Just a little bit of an overextension from Jesulin there, and Havoc took complete advantage of that. And typical of this game, you know, it can be turned around even in situations where you thought one player was doing incredibly well. Just takes that slight little mistake here.
The thing is, you can't predict what's beyond the fog of war. And he did not know at that point with that poor Jagdpanzer positioning he was going to get punished so severely. And Havoc, we were criticising him for not being aggressive enough. He definitely showed that he does have what it takes in that moment when he pushed all of his tanks in that thrusting motion.
He made the right decision. He made the right call there. He predicted that very, very well. I think he was a little bit lucky to get away with everything that he did, because that M4C Sherman with the low health, you know, really could have died to that long Raketten shot.
We're going to be waiting for the King Tiger, it seems, for Jesulin, the 68.5-ton behemoth. is what he's going for, it seems, with that quite ridiculous fuel count. But he definitely could be spending in the meantime, couldn't he?
I think so, yeah. It's there's more that could be on the field right now. I mean, maybe even an MG would be helpful to locking down the VPs, you know, drawing out bait for the Raketans. Jesulin's not really a player I really question with his decisions, though. It does seem a little bit excessive to be stacking 900 manpower when you can still build things. Of course, 46 pop cap, it should be. But I
think Jesulin's always been open to questioning. I think his dominance in 2014 and late 13, where he had the biggest streak of tournament victories you'll ever see in Company Heroes, I think a lot of that, quite frankly, is because the field was a bit weak at the time and Jesulin's micro was so strong at the time. He literally out-microed everybody. And he coined the phrase adapt, but to be honest, strategically speaking, if we were doing like strengths and weaknesses of all the best tournament players, I don't think strategical thinking would be Jesulin's strength. I'm going to be honest there. For example, his famously in ESL, he just continually went Calliopes even though they weren't working for him, and such. So yeah, it's just one of those things. He's known for it, but I'm not sure he's known for it for the right reasons anymore.
I always remember him saying, because he very much finds a meta that he likes and plays it well. And I mean, that's why we see him playing Scavenge Doctrine. It's nearly a guaranteed pick for Jesulin, you know, why he's put his face on that commander, because in his words, you know, he doesn't believe that OKW performs well without that commander in Jesulin.
105mm barrage pushing away all the infantry from the centre, which will allow Jesulin to possibly get a triple cap very shortly. But this is, quite frankly, disgusting. He's 45 pop cap in. He's 1,250 manpower up, and he's not spending it. It's a very odd predicament to find himself in. He could be building ISGs, MG34s, any number of manpower sync units that just add to your army and allow you better functionality.
He's gone for the King Tiger.
Oh yeah, we knew he'd do that.
No, I didn't. I thought he'd go for the Panther. The Panther seems like a much better.
I said it like 5 times, so didn't I? Well, don't you listen to your co-caster?
I do, but it's silly. We discussed this at the start, that the King Tiger is probably not that great on this map. It's going to be easily flanked, the turret rotation is slow, acceleration is not enough to handle 3 M4C Shermans on the push, and there's 2 Raketans. Bear in mind one of them's at 5, but that is not enough to deal with these Shermans.
Done. Okay, that's logic. But how about this? We've got 68.5-ton Behemoth on the field. It's massive. Kruppstahl. Germany victory. Über alles. It's so great. It's a big tank. That is
oh, well, I'm open to suggestion.
That's all they think. They don't care about logic or strategy. Big tank.
I'm saying that I never questioned Jesulin, but after such a solid game, I'm not sure if I can agree with this decision. The King Tiger is a slow and cumbersome beast. It's going to do some good damage to the M4C Shermans, but it's so slow to the field. Now we see the Lukes is just taking a sticky satchel. Could be that an M4C Sherman comes in to sweep that up. Nearly, the satchel blew up part of the Raketan as the Lukes drove past, which is just very, very unfortunate. Now on M4C Sherman takes engine critical from the mine. King Tiger's in. This may pay off by some fortunate luck.
Yes. Of course it will. Of course it will. Casters curse. The King Tiger is a behemoth, Daniel. It is not to be denied. Look at it. Look how big it is relative to everything else.
M4C Shermans, they're going to try and get it. Havoc just doesn't know how to do this. The King Tiger's parked in the centre. There's no way round. He just has to take it from the front.
Terrible. Let's take it from the front because you couldn't take the King Tiger from behind. He tried to flank it over a small bridge. What the hell? The King Tiger is absolutely dominating right now. This is like some kind of set-piece advertisement for Kruppstahl. It's literally the worst possible counterplay to King Tigers I've ever seen, and it's made the King Tiger look absolutely dominating.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Ran at it like little minions, you know, like one by one, just getting punched by this big 68-ton tank.
Well, Havoc had everything there he needed to make that push. It was just so unfortunate that I mean, everything. It wasn't just Havoc. It was Jesulin, like driving the Lukes past the Riketten, the Satchel blowing apart the Riketten, and the Shermans and the mines. That was like, absolutely chaotic. But Jesulin comes out of it with the first game in hand. Interesting game indeed.
I mean, hopefully, I think moments like that should reinstill our viewers' faith in true hype moments, because usually when you've got a hype moment, it's so great for casters because it's skill incarnate. It's beautiful. It's flowing motion. It's flanking. It's everything going right. When you've got like 3 Shermans and a T-70 like headbutting the front of a King Tiger on a bridge, like expecting something to happen.
I was thinking, what is actually going on?
That's not hype. That's like, yeah, that's like. Have you ever seen the film Fury, Dan?
Fury. Is that the? No, I think I'm thinking of Kung Fury.
Okay. No, it's not that. It's the film where 3 Shermans.
I know, I have seen it. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay, good. You've seen that. That's like the opposite of that. This is like what would happen if Verabus wrote the film Fury.
I'm just changing headphones 1 second, because these are officially dead. It's
oh, good.
I'm not putting up with this anymore.
I need to turn my light on.
Really?
What's going on now, Dad?
I don't have any of my adapters up here. I'm gonna have to put up with it.
Everything's going wrong. Can you? What is wrong with? Have you done something in a past life against technology? It's like one of your forefathers, like somebody that burnt down the mills in industrial Britons, claiming they were a curse sent or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't even know how this has happened. You know, just it's I can actually touch part of the headphones here, and it like just touching it will move the audio to the left. So I'm thinking, yeah, you know, I need to get that sorted out. I'm just going to turn some lights on quickly. But yeah, we'll get into the next game as quick as we can.
Yeah, let's go on for it. Let's get this rocking.
Just get in the party quickly. I'm just going to put some lights on here.
Okay, me too. I've just done that. I've noticed that my my face was looking quite luminescent.
Sith boldness. Yes. Darth boldness.
What did they say? Sorry.
That was me. All right.
Called yourself Darth Boldness. Is that what you called yourself? Your hair's regrown though, Dan. Miraculously. How did it happen?
It has, but don't tell anybody that.
Okay. Sorry.
No one's allowed to know the secret.
Well, that's why you got your technology curse. You
traded it for hair growth.
Yes, that's it. You've sold your soul to the devil, and he said, "Aha! But now you'll be cursed with a lifetime of poor technology usage." Oh God!
Dear me. One second. I'm just gonna update the scores in the lobby as well, just so you guys know. Not forgetting these things. This is a lot for me to edit. This is
It really is. Let me talk to chat for a moment.
No, so we can go straight into the game. I'm ready.
Oh, you are ready? I thought you said
I
it was going to take ages. I'm ready. I'm ready as well.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2, Crossing in the Woods, the second series of today. We have on the north side of Crossing in the Woods, Jesulin playing as the Soviets.
And we have in the south side, again, we've got an OKW matchup against Soviets. This time the OKW player is Havoc. Lol. And he's now 1-0 down after he headbutted Jesulin's King Tiger 3 times with 3 separate tanks and lost every time. But he's going to be out for vengeance. He's going to be looking for victory. And he's going straight for this garrison with Stern Pioneers. That's a good choice.
This is a very aggressive start to the game. We may have to be on hypecasting right from the get-go, because Stern Pioneer is going to be pushing off the double engineer build right at the start, giving loads of time for the Kubels to do capping across the map. I think the aim of this is that the engineers might get distracted by these Stern Pioneers, come off of their capping in the early game, and try and deal with this push through the center. It's a nice strategy. If that's what he's going for, it's very good.
Very, very good. It's exciting. It makes sense. Distract the combat engineers, get your Kubels working, get capping, outcap your opponent, and then hopefully he'll be able to thwart the M3 advance. That's his idea, I guess.
Yeah, it might be the idea here. If he can cap this munitions as well, he might stand a chance of getting to 30 munitions for that mine a little bit quicker. If he can lay that mine just outside of Jesulin's base in prediction of a potential scout car, then he's at least covered himself in the early game. But bear in mind, you know, Jesulin doesn't know that he's gone double Kubel yet. So we don't know if scout car really is going to be on the brain or not.
You'd expect it to be, because obviously Jesulin's always been so great with the light vehicles. Look at that DPS from the Stern Pioneers. They've ravaged that penal battalion. Early manpower loss for Jesulin.
Yeah, that was unfortunate actually, because Jesulin did get to the house first. It was actually just at one of the, you know how when one of the models isn't at the door, you can't get in. So a bit of a cheeky one there from Havoc to actually get in and deal that damage with the Stern Pioneers.
Havoc Grenadiers also thwarting in the centre, so Havoc is looking on top here. Chat's not look at in Havoc's corner there. We've just had a straw poll result with 100% gunning for Jesulin. I think in this tournament so far we've seen so many upsets already. I wouldn't be so sure. Would be my message. Nothing
we
is
have to take
impossible.
into consideration, especially for people that maybe don't know this game as well, as I'm sure there are people watching here who don't necessarily play Company of Heroes themselves. You know, Soviet Tier 1 is slow to field. It's one of those things that, you know, you have to take that hit of a lack of territory in the beginning. You have to take what looks like a terrible position, but you're blessed with what becomes a very, very effective army on the field, you know, 5 minutes into the game.
Yes, the Volksgrenadier one-man squad retreating through the centre. Kubelwagens doing what they do best, Dan, and that's afflict manpower attrition without actually letting any be afflicted upon themselves. It's a little bit exploitative in my mind, a little bit if you think about it, but I suppose the M3 can do the very same, and the M3 is about to hit the field also.
I think they're absolutely fantastic units, exactly as you say. There's no manpower bleed. You can just very quickly repair them. You know, if you do spend that 30 munitions early for the support package on Stern Pioneers, you can repair those things and keep the guns going at pretty much no cost, forcing your opponent, perhaps, you know, Jesulin in this case, to get PTRS upgrades on the penals. So, you know, double Kubel start, I think it leads down a lot of options. It's definitely forced the scout car. We'll see if any of those Kubels go down.
And the scout car's already making its entrance on the field known, pushing away the Volksgrenadiers. Now got a Kubel in its sights. This Kubel's already down to 80% health. It's down to 40% health. It's literally a sitting duck. It's going to be dead within moments if it can't get out of the way. But the M3's got similar speed. Kubel's darting around. There are no counters coming. There is no help for you, Mr. Kubel. You are going to die.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Kubel? It is dead.
You can run. I love that casting. It's so deadpan. You are going to die. It is dead.
It's dead. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's exactly what the scout car is supposed to do. Come on the field and destroy that unit. In fact, the second one now is pretty static on the left-hand side of the field. Will the scout car go in for it? The Volksgrenadiers are retreating and the mechanized regiment is still building, so Faust weren't available. They are now. It doesn't look like Volksgrenadiers are going to be able to get the Faust and the scout car hit.
Scout cars have already made a great entrance onto the field, and Havoc's forces are greatly diminished now. He is heavily relying on, of course, the... I said this was going to be an auto-match themed game. Heavily relying on the Luke's Rush, but he's waiting for the fuel currently. And whilst he's waiting, he's probably going to lose a lot of the map.
Just seen Jesulin pick defensive tactics, which people may be going, but it's actually very, very good. Like I've seen this used. I've seen this used really, really well. Well, the
Nobody goes.
I do. I normally do when I pick the wrong thing. Or but I mean, it's one of these doctrines. You can lay some very, very cheap mines that are very, very effective against Volksgrenadiers. You know, the light AT gun is going to be very, very good against the mechanized regiment. I wonder if he spotted the mechanized regiment went down and is pretty much going to employ this to get the light anti-tank guns out against the Lukes. I think this is a great doctrine if you're prepared to play through the teching properly.
thought it was more for the 120 mil, which, to be honest, I think this map is very mortar-centric, so I would expect it to be more for that, but I'm willing to be surprised.
Well, this could be a Volks Grenadier takedown from the scout car. It's trying to push. It's got the flamers opening up the MG.
Oh.
This guy's trying to get away, but there we go. Flame on. He's dead.
Oh, God. So sickening that he ran the wrong way for a moment, whilst on fire. A sad dance of death. Here comes the Lukes. Found the M3. The M3's in a difficult situation. Probably going to disembark the combat engineers very shortly. There you go. Retreating, and the M3 is soon to be dead.
Yeah, good micro there to get the engineers out. It wasn't a situation he was going to be able to save, but he certainly could at least get those engineers out. Scout Car's had its value, you know. Scout Car's picked up a squad and the Kubel, so I think that's been very, very good value for him so far. Probably looking, what is it, 200 manpower for the M42 AT gun. Will that come on the field straight away? Let's find out if Jesulin's going to pick that. He should. I mean, he should pick that, really, given that the Lux is on the field.
Yeah, the Lukes, though, is going to be suddenly finding Havoc back in the game, despite not having barely any infantry. There you go, rebuilding one of the Volks Grenadiers. But yes, it's an interesting one. I think Jesulin, do you reckon he's firing on... What have you seen?
He's teching. He's actually teching. He's not going to get the M42 out. In fact, he's probably comfortable to just play with the PTR Spinels, of which he has two. That's to be honest, pretty fair. Because he will be able to keep the Lukes at bay with that. And it's not like there's tons of Volks Grenadiers running around contesting the penals. So yeah, he's going to take this opportunity to go tier 3. Looks like he'll make it in time for T70. Don't necessarily disagree with that.
I think it's a safe option. I think a defensive probably will use for the mortar, I guess. Jesulin's got a strong force in the west here, contending against Volks Grenadiers. Got combat engineers running through mines in the centre. Very, very
heroic,
brave unit. But I don't think it's going to have a very happy ending for these three brave Russians, as now they've been found by the Lukes and they have a difficult retreat path through the Volks Grenadiers.
It's Hacksaw Ridge Russian edition.
Oh God. Again, Havoc trying to branch out in the east. Jesulin is a little bit contained at the moment, despite being on top for most of this game. But the Lukes certainly has allowed Havoc back into it for now. So we'll have a little bit of a fairer contest on our hands, Dan. I think Jesulin was always on top in that first game. It never really looked likely that Havoc would reign supreme.
No, I mean, Havoc has made mistakes here, and I still think, even in this patch, I have been trying to fairly analyse if it still exists in this patch, but spreading out with Axis just doesn't seem to be a great idea at the start of the game. Like, you can do it with the Kubels, of course, you do your capping with your stern pioneers, but in general it just seems like, you know, it's easy to be pulled apart by allies still. The T-70 is only going to emphasise that when that comes on, because it's just more the squad wiper, and it's able to deal with the Lukes. So I think where allies enjoy that benefit, you know, Havoc could really do with just deciding a direction here, reinforcing it, and making Jesulin tech up to things that are going to try and push him off those parts of the map, rather than drifting over there and you know, taking those squad wipes.
This map is all about drifting, and it's if you find yourself constantly being pushed around from left to right in crossing the woods, I always think sometimes it's better to consolidate your forces and just go up through the centre and go for manpower instead. Well, we've got an interesting dynamic now. It's a very spread playing field. We've got little skirmishes happening in two different locations, both with light tanks, and they haven't quite met each other quite yet, so I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, it'd be sensible for Jesulin to try and target that. I think he's maybe going to be scared of a Raketin, but he shouldn't be because of the squad wipes that he took earlier on in the game. It's if Havoc does go for a Raketin, Jesulin's, you know, well ahead in the manpower army. So hopefully he's making some little calculations like this on what he's actually taken off the field in Kubel Volks Grenadiers. We've seen Battle Grouper go up in the base for Havoc, so it's probably going to be flicked on with medical infirmary upgrade.
I don't like his truck placement. Almost seems like he's parking them in a car park rather than putting them a little bit forward to get a tactical advantage.
It's like a holiday home, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like caravans. I don't get it. Why would he not put them behind the bushes so he can reverse into them and repair? Or he's now space. It's terrible ergonomics, Daniel. I'm just not happy with it. and I'm going to be writing a very sternly worded letter to him.
I don't have any particular issues with that. I mean, the main thing is that when it comes to OKW tier structures is putting the tier 4 structure the wrong way round. You know, where the gun has to turn. Like, that triggers me.
You shouted at me in the 2v2 for that.
Yeah.
Just like, what's the problem? I understand. Don't worry. You don't have to let me know. It's okay. There we go. So we've got Jesulin's actually getting a lot of control at the moment. He's got currently got his Dushka firing, suppressing. He's got T-70 coming through the centre. But Havoc's consolidated forces in the west, allowing him now to flank the Dushka, push it away with combined fire, and the T-70 is going to have to reverse to reposition and answer the threat.
I really like Havoc has, he was working really well with the minesweepers there on the Stern Pioneers. He had those right next to the Lukes the whole time, just in case Jesulin has been planting mines, but low health Stern Pioneers here. I think he wanted to try and finish them off with the T-70, but the Raketten's guarding. Nearly the Lukes went down, so again, these near-death trades constantly happening.
Nearly the Lukes went down, but it didn't. Stayed alive for another day. Just like your phrasing there, it sounded very much like Old English poetry or something. Always like stumbled upon poetry in Company Heroes 2. Casting can get quite poetic with Dan and I from time to time. I like to think at times. We've got a demo, by the way, in the east. That's one to keep an eye on next to the fuel point. But we're very much looking forward, Dan, to the medium armor. We've got light armor on the field right now. It's 13 minutes in. Medium armor will be the next thing to kick it up a notch and to ramp up through the gears and make this thing bubble over.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a quick look at the teching, and Havoc is clearly going for his 3rd tier structure. It's probably going to be tier 4. Wondering if he's going to put it in base or whether he's going to try and put it up on the field at all. But that's kind of suggesting to me, are we going to see another King Tiger, or, where is this going from here?
Well, it seems the players are intent on, like mirroring each other's plays as much as they can at the moment. Obviously, Jesulin will not be able to go for the M4C Shermans, which makes no sense because he's not really used anything else from the defensive commander. But, yeah, it seems like very much a reversal of positions in more ways than one in this second game.
Jesulin's been very resourceful with the demolitions. You've got one on the fuel to the right, one center. Fortunately, Havoc has actually been using his Stern Pioneers with the support package very responsibly. That's always around, and the Lukes will have just spotted engineers from Jesulin with the Minesweeper upgrade, which is always a little bit of a clue that mines may have gone down. Center's going to be the big one, though. That's definitely not going to get swept when those Volk Grenadiers go in.
No, that's good. That's a squad wipe in the making. And that's Jesulin getting his own back on his opponents with that one. Really bites off more than he can chew. Pressure him with the T-70. It might not be what he wants to do, really. Oh no, there it goes. He's got the squad wipe now. He's got it for certain. Yeah. I was hoping one of them would fall into the lake. It didn't quite happen. Never mind.
Yeah, that was a good bait, actually, really. He sat there for a long time, tried to play as much of the engagement out, probably. And that's another thing that I like as well, is that it's very easy to bait those engagements straight away and get the squad wipe. But if you're actually prepared to sit there with your squad and get a little bit of experience and veterancy up, then blow the squad up, you can actually get a lot more out of those engagements, which Jesulin seems to be doing.
That is a brutal way of looking at it, Dan. So you literally make the most of your victim before you blow him up into small pieces.
Precisely.
Oh, God. That is truly despicable. Let's give a bit of a story of the stats and the current battle situation. We've got Jesulin currently winning 461 victory points to 355. He's 1-0 up in the series. In this game, he has positive KD of Soviets, 46 to 40. His army size is currently larger, 50 to 45, and he's banking a little bit more fuel. In terms of tech, back in base, he has got the mechanized armor Kompanija up, but his opponent has most recently constructed the Schwerpanzer headquarters. Oh, and there you go! He's just, the demo has just blown up. destroying that Kubel bomb, I believe.
Now the Lukes versus T70 engagement going on. It's a veterancy for both. And Jesulin's just not keen to push it at all. He still hasn't really gone into the AT gun, so he's not going to be able to get great damage done with just the T70. So it's a weird mechanic actually here, because the T70 and the Lukes are kind of just playing each other out in all the engagements. I think it'll be the penals that close this in the end against the Lukes, if anything.
I think it's asymmetric balance finally done right with these two units. So they are different, but they do a similar role, and they do it in a different way. That's aesthetically pleasing. I like the T70 and the Lukes, the trade-off between the two.
It's a much more balanced situation than we've seen from this tier, the combination of these two tiers in the game. There's a very slow retreat with the Raketin there. Actually loses it. He didn't hit the retreat button. If only the Raketin could run as fast as that guy is now.
Is it not? Is it not getting stolen? Oh no, he's seen the Panzer II. And he's torn between two things that he wants to do, and he's decided to steal it. But the Panzer II is currently getting in line, so he could be going for... No, he can't do it now. He's got a 3-man squad, but at least he's got the Raketenwerfer as well. Oh, and he finds it. There you go, rear armor hit. Now the Lukes is in danger.
Oh yeah, it's in a lot of danger there. T70 not in a position to push it and back it up at all. The tier 4 structure is protecting that area, but it didn't quite protect the Raketin from getting recrewed, taking a shot, and managing to get out of that situation. Jesulin's going to spend his resources on a T-34-76, which is probably the best choice he could go for right now in tech.
It's a great time in terms of vehicle balance. At the moment you can go for many options, and so if it's one of them is spamming T-34-76, isn't it? It's exactly what we're going to see today, but the bigger picture right now is the Focus Grenadiers, one-man squad, barely surviving in the east.
He could have made a much bigger push for that. He was a bit lax on the T-70 there. Didn't want to push across the river, possibly feeling there might be Raketins. One was setting up, but that's the thing with Jesulin, is that, you know, as you say, he's not prepared to take those risks yet. There is a point in this game where he will be, but it's not now. And until he's hit that point, he's happy to let his things gain veterancy that will be useful to them later on.
Yes, that was a very eloquently put point, Daniel. I agree.
Thank you for the validation. I really needed that.
I just thought I was
worried that my casting might be a little off, but I'm glad that you've been able to clear that up for me mid-cast. Cheers.
Oh, great, good. It's difficult, just, you know, you've had your sex change approved today, you had the news through, and it's a different time for your life, you know. You're going to go through changes over the next few months, and we're with you, and that's what I just wanted to say. Sorry, but we've got the T-34-76 now rocking up the west. It's going to be gunning for the Stern Pioneer that recently laid a mine down. Could be triggering it. No, it's not. It's not triggering it. It's now able to carry on with its quest of killing those poor worker units.
Sorry, you're going to have to give me a second to sort my headphones up.
Okay, no worries. I thought I'd offended you. That's good. It's very difficult to do that. Here we go. Focus Grenadiers gunning the combat engineers down. I don't know where Dan's camera is. I hope it's on what I'm talking about.
It is. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh, good. He's very good at multitasking. Dan, it's underrated quality. Penals from Jesulin trapping at the west. The Lukes in the centre wrecking Havoc from Havoc. That's stumbled upon poetry that you do find in Code 2 testing.
I'm really looking at this that's going on right now. Jesulin's clearly got very good control of the map. T-34-76 one side, Dushka T-70 on the other, trying to push the center. Do you know the one big thing that we really haven't seen at all today is indirect fire?
Zeppelin.
I mean, we saw one game where, you know, double ISG came in from Gaming Bro, didn't really work, but indirect fire used to be a huge thing in this game, and now we just don't really see that much of it.
I still think it's really, really damn good, but I think it's very pleasing that when you get top-level players, they refrain from using it quite as much. They want stuff that isn't indirect. They want stuff that's directly in their control, such as this T-34-76, which was on the warpath and got thwarted by the Raketenwerfer. But yeah, as I say, when you've got guys with sublime micro-dance... Oh, there you go, he's discovered the demo in the east. When you've got guys with sublime micro, they don't necessarily need indirect fire as much. And that's at least my 2 cents on it anyway. T70 racking up the kills, going through the Ventracy, now up to 13, pushing away the Stern Pioneers. A lot of experience given by killing one of those babies.
Oh gosh, what is that Luke's doing? It's completely opened itself up for the T-34-76 to give it a ramming from behind. And it's going to get... Oh gosh, 2 shots missed. The Raketten's trying to counterfire, getting lots of damage done there. Engineers are going back up for the repair. But, I mean, Jesulin's got such a hold on this. This is impressive because he's not just moving an army around the map. He's got different pockets of army all over the place that are able to deal with the situations.
That's right. So the T-34 was trying to get it from behind there. And 2 shots whistled over his shoulder. Didn't quite work as he intended. Puma's on the field. The Puma, or the Puma as we used to call it, because that's how you say Puma in English.
You used to call it. Don't drag me.
No, well, no, you are English, and that's how you say Puma in English. You know, you used to call it Puma as well. In fact, you started, and then I started calling it Puma because the German fans were going to lynch us.
Pretty much. It's my commitment to the German part of the community that I name, that I call this unit out as it's known by them, even if I thoroughly disagree with it.
Yeah, me too. It's our language. We invented this, and we want. No, I won't get into that. We'll go Basil Fawlty in this. Oh, look at this! Just like the Predator from the film Predator. I'm sure Dan hasn't seen. The Panzer II Luchs is currently invisible. Amazing. Truly.
I'm yet to see somebody use the low-profile mode, you know, to a game-changing effect. Like, we've seen it a couple of times, but, you know, this is one of those units you can actually just drive to the base in camouflage and deal huge damage with. It's a great scouter. It's a little high-risk if you trigger a mine, but as long as you've got it nearby, you know, I would love to see more from the stealth on this unit, for sure.
Puma's now marauding, looking for its next target, or its first target rather. It's not really done much to as of yet. Jesulin really hasn't gone that aggressive, and he's going for a combined arms build, it seems. So he's got the T-70, the T-34-76, and soon to be accompanied by the Su-85. Great unit for this map.
He's doing the right thing, you know. He's going to have the flanking unit. He's going to have the unit that gives range and high. Oh gosh, Puma down to a long shot from the Raketten in center. Beautiful play there. Oh gosh, he might be able to get a satchel charge off from this Volks. Jesulin.
No, just pyrotechnics in the end.
This is the thing with Jesulin though. He's calm, and then just very quickly unleashes God mode for a couple of seconds. And that's when you have to be really, really careful, because you can guarantee if one thing is going on in the map that Jesulin's doing, something else is going to be happening as well. And that you have to be really careful and watch out for.
Fully agreed. If we are going to alliterate with 3 C's that imply steadiness, can we say calm, cool, and collected, please?
Calm, cool, and collective.
Collected. You got it.
I'm pretty sure I said collective.
Okay, if you want to say collective, you can. A new spin on
I
the
meant
word.
collected. Damn it.
You just said calm. I know. Go back to saying calm. That's fine. We can stick with calm.
They're not the 3 C's I was thinking of.
Oh god. Here we go. We finally got this mortar that we predicted how many minutes ago? 20 minutes ago or something stupid. The 120mm now on the field. Indirect fire. Jesulin's thought, I'm sick of trying to micro a lot with units. I'm going to get something big, bulky, and AI, that's artificial intelligence based, and he's got it, and it's going to smash through many units.
You know, the funny thing is, like, I want to commend Jesulin for the way that he's playing, because this is pure strategy. This is, you know, good builds, good control. But, you know, it is a slower style of gameplay. You know, there's less of those huge rushes and moments that we saw, for instance, in some of the other games that we saw from Aimstrong in that last game against GB. We're not really getting any of that here, but if you want to really watch how this game is going, like, the teching is fantastic, the control is good. Jesulin, 89 out of his 100 pop cap now. You know, is just starting to come out of his shell a little bit. He's holding the double cap on the outsides, going for the triple cap through the middle, and there's just not much. There's not much that Havoc is able to do. He just doesn't possess the equipment on the field to push out from this territory. It's so well locked down right now.
I think this is a tale of Havoc versus somebody that is extremely calm, cool, and collected in Jesulin, or Jesulin, whichever one of those three ways to pronounce his name you want to use. This guy is just being a battlefield general right now. His units are working exactly as intended. He's soaking up pressure. He's dealing out more pressure, and he's just on the steady path to victory. He's literally got this in exactly where he wants it, and Havoc's gonna have to make some big plays in order to remedy the situation.
He's got the two Raketans. Now the two Raketans can can cloak quite close to the Su-85, which would be a really good play. If this one opens up fire now, though, he may spoil the opportunity to actually take this unit down. That's the first one open. I think he did that prematurely, to be honest, because now he's not going to get the shots off that he needed. But little things like that, you know, opening up too early on the shots from the Raketans in cloak is a game-changing thing, and these are all opportunities he's missing to actually take these units down. Without the Puma on the field, I mean, he would have been much better, right? He would have been much better maybe picking special operations and getting a command panther out. But he hasn't. The decision to go for Puma has really been a sore point.
Yeah, he definitely premature Raketan elated there. It was not what he wanted to happen. The Su-85 was able to reverse the hell out of there. And now we're left with, to be honest, a similar situation we've found ourselves in before. Havoc does have the tools at his disposal to make this happen, despite not having the medium armor on the field that he would perhaps want. But just getting obliterated by the 120mm, which is now, by the way, up to 8 kills. Veterancy 1 already, so we can use flares if it were to so desire. Also, then you've got to keep an eye on that demo in the east. At some point, it's going to just be the nail in the coffin, most likely.
Jesulin's got them everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually been planting some on the left. Yeah, there's one on the VPs. So they really are everywhere right now. And the Stern Pioneers, Jesulin's going to be focusing those Stern Pioneers to make sure that the Minesweepers don't detect any of this. He wants to be sure that he gets these kills. I'm really... I mean, Havoc hasn't picked a commander yet. No, I don't see any reason right now why you wouldn't pick a commander. You should have something in your loadout that is going to help you a little bit.
Command Panther. Why not go Command Panther? It's still great. In fact, some people say it's been buffed in the GCS thing because of the penetration buffs. Oh, there you go. The Luke's has been taken out by the rampaging T-34-76. The one thing that Havoc had, in my opinion, that was keeping him in this game has now been obliterated.
You know, the other weird thing is this teching. Like, you know, Panzer IV is in the build now. Inexplicably. Why would you tech all 3 tier buildings to get this Panzer IV? At this stage. I mean, what's the Panzer IV going to do? It's going to struggle with the T-34 alone, let alone the Su-85 picking it off in the back. PTRS from the penals, stickies. I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's, he's going to have to really think next game about the teching he needs to get past Jesulin, because Jesulin has outdone him in this aspect of the game.
Jesulin is like an old knight. You don't want to go at him in a sword fight. You want to play dirty. You want to throw mud in his eyes. If you play fair with him, and if you go toe to toe with him in 1-versus-1 combat, he's just going to outclass you. As I say, he's the tournament player with the most victories of any other tournament player in Coming Heroes history because of his absolute dominance in the 2014 period. And he's showing us exactly why here. He's just parrying, and Havoc's had to surrender. He's got no other choice.
Well, there we go. Second game, and Jesulin is really not going easy on his opponent at any rate. I'll update the scores there. We put this down to be the series of today. This is what we really thought was going to be the one. And I think that's actually probably the reason I thought that, at least, was because, as you said, Havoc came into this with a little bit of boldness and cockiness. What was it that he said, eh?
Havoc said, to be honest, I might be able to steal several games off Jesulin today, basically. But we're now 2-0 down, and it's just like, it's not looking great for him. Jesulin looks sturdy, he looks strong, He looks well practiced, quite frankly. His micro and reaction speeds have been great. So, yeah, he's putting people on notice right now, and quite frankly, showing Aimstrong how it's done.
poor Aimstrong losing that 500 VP game earlier. It's again trying not to do any spoilers, and I'm sorry, but
Well, yeah, I guess. To be honest, I'm gonna advertise the crap out of the Aimstrong series versus GB. So, you know, hopefully most people will have seen that series first. So we could probably, if spoiler alert, if you don't want them to know the result, just jump to the third game in this YouTube video. But very much indeed, it was an amazing battle between GB Hooligan and Insane Aimstrong. It was an unexpected battle between those two. It was, quite frankly, riveting viewing. And we've got this quote from Aimstrong to his opponent to be read publicly as a message. Thanks to the games, Hooligan. The series was the biggest dark horse situation I've witnessed in the game. And if it wasn't for me putting in everything by the end, you'd have taken it. I won by a hair. You can be my wingman anytime.
Wow, that's a pretty high accolade from Aimstrong.
Considering just how many tournaments he's played in, and obviously he's always had an eye on the tournament scene. If he says it's the biggest dark horse situation he's ever seen, it's the biggest I've ever seen. I've been involved for a long time, so I think it's probably dark horse numero uno. GB the Hooligan did extremely well there. I am coming, don't worry.
No, it's fine. No, I was just changing some things on the webcam, and your room is a lot lighter than mine. You see, I don't have the benefit of any form of front lighting anymore. My LEDs are.
Let me have a look.
Jesus Christ, that works. No, that's okay. Maybe we'll stick with this lighting. There we go.
This is how it is, though. I'm the exuberant one, the super overly enthusiastic one, the one with the humor. You're the deadpan, sturdy host of the show that makes me look like an idiot. So you should. See, be I don't like
this
me.
Comparison because it's not that I'm boring. It's I'm trying to be responsible.
I didn't say that. I said you were responsible.
I'm trying to be the responsible person that's always like, you know, we're not going to talk about that mid-cast. But
yeah.
Okay, we're ready to go into this game. So yeah, it's going to be a couple. Let's just say 2 minutes before we get into this.
Stern Panther. Of course, you can promote GB Hooligan for the newcomer prize. Absolutely, I think he's probably the leading candidate right now. But that prize will be announced live on air during the grand final from Leicester, England, in a studio we're still not quite yet allowed to announce for some reason. But yeah, I think he's clearly a runaway contender for that prize. And I've already said I'm going to just basically award him for the entertainment he's provided us today. And his refereeing work so far, a £30 bonus. On top of, we're already, by the way, his reward for participating in refereeing is we're going to fly him over to England to come and watch, not just come and watch, but come and let referee live and be a stagehand and such. So I think a £30 bonus for participating. And nearly knocking out one of the tournament legends, biggest tournament legends in Company Heroes history is quite frankly amazing. So yes.
Okay, looks like we're all set for the game. 10 seconds to go.
Oh yeah.
Third game. Could it be that Jesulin 3-0s Havoc? Or does Havoc have it in him? Let's find out as we go in.
Havoc might have it in him, quite frankly. He's a man of many surprises. God, I'm gonna have to try and hype this up, aren't I? Let me find an angle.
Do you want to do the intro? Do you want me to do it? Shall I do the intro? Do you need your notepad? I can give you a minute if you want to write something down.
Is this what you said to that girl about me writing everything down and not ad-libbing?
No, it was more that you'd actually written something down and then you actually said.
I prepared. I've only ever written one thing down, and Dan is like nailing me for it, as though it's like someone unwritten rule. Very unwritten.
No.
Anyway, I'll do an intro. It'll be fine. It'll be ad-libbed, as always.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
For in the east of Colodny Firma, you have the Spanish conquistador, Jesulin. His is a man that will dart in and out. He will give any tournament game a shout with victory on the horizon. He'll always end up surprising. He's up against Havoc, lol. And it's game 3, and Jesulin's 2-0 up. So what do you think is going to happen in this third game, Dan?
Well, Jesulin has been an absolutely fighting force today. He has been calm, controlled, and collective. He has been very, very prominent on the field at all points, waiting until he reaches his maximum pop cap before he is ready to strike, tightening the... Damn it! I can't think of anything there. But,
did you throw yourself off?
I did, yeah. Tightening the noose is what I was going to say around Havoc. Havoc's done really well. Havoc opened up, I think, the bad build order for Crossing in the Woods last game, because it's just very, very obvious to me at the moment that the Soviets are going to be playing Tier 1. We've seen it pretty much every game. You know, now he's going to go with the Kubel. I think that's a sensible idea for capping, but double Kubel in the last game, I think, kind of put him on the back foot a little bit early on after the scout car. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Jesulin playing Soviets again. Good decision for him. He played it very well in the last one. And Havoc just needs to come up with something better through start to mid game to try and counter that.
A curious note for GCS viewers, obviously, which you all are. Game 3 can actually be on the same factions as Game 2, because the third game allows the person that didn't get picked in the first game a chance to pick first. So they can literally pick the same faction again if they wanted. It's a weird quirk of the rules, but it makes it as balanced as possible based on the coin toss. So interesting that we've got the same factions again as we had in the second game, but there you go.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, really. I think it's been quite a nice mechanic in the tournament so far. But what's a very, very nice mechanic is Jesulin with his barbed wire right in the central point there, denying the Volksgrenadiers the ability to get green cover there. Jesulin hasn't spotted a very low health engineer there that he needs to get out. Stern Pioneers from Havoc going to try and close the gap. They should be able to kill it, and that'll be the first wipe of the game. Negatives for Jesulin, and Jesulin holds no territory and has already lost the squad.
Combat engineers are never going to dump them to the ground with muzzling in the guns with the range drop off. So there you go. Looks likely that Havoc is dominating with the Stern Pioneers, and that's always what an OKW player wants to do early on, is get those archetypal assault guns rampaging.
That was a very, very good early game play from Havoc. There's definitely a sense of, definitely more a sense of aggression in this game than he's had, and he played it well. He played all of that well, given that he was already blocked off from green cover through the strategic point. He didn't get the decap he wanted, but he held so much territory denial from Jesulin. But it's going to be difficult for Jesulin to really push back from that, and he's actually having to build the second squad of engineers, whereas normally we'd see that third penal battalion come in. Havoc's early game push has actually completely stunted that. He's going to be able to tech up very, very quickly in comparison.
Also, Jesulin's going for a dud cut-off here. This is not a cut-off. The victory point in the centre is taken. It's done literally nothing. And it's just going to be contended against by the Volksgrenadiers now. Green cover battle incoming.
I think it's a really important thing to point out, because clearly a lot of players don't realise that the VP does connect munitions and the strategic point together, because so many people rushing that we've seen for that strategic cut-off where it hasn't really done anything.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right there. The doesn't do much at all at some points. On certain maps, that's it's always something to bear in mind. The penal battalion's here, taking the garrison. You've got the combat engineers also coming in. Wasn't completely negated, that cover. They have got a little bit of yellow cover, I think, technically. I'm not sure what that counts as, to be honest, but they've got it regardless.
Kubel's in a little bit difficult situation. It can't push through mid because house and centre has been taken by the penal battalions from Jesulin. And we do have the scout car on the field now, which looks like it's coming up through the centre. It's going to get a bit of a surprise, though, because Battle Group is about to finish, which means Faust will be available for that scout car. Jesulin's not going to be able to push it quite in the way that he wants. This is actually really, really close timing. He's got to get like a couple of seconds of benefit. So there he is, burning multiple Volksgrenadiers on the retreat. The scout car's chasing. Is he going to go for the Volksgrenadiers, or is he going to go for the Kubel? In fact, he ends up with neither due to this bad decision to go through that difficult pathing area.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what he wanted. He wanted a bit of a Volksgrenadier Inferno, and what he got was a one-model barbecue.
He's going to try to pick up this Volks Grenadier on the retreat, though. They've got another squad, but they're not retreating. They're going to deliver the Faust, and pretty much guaranteed to get out of that engagement. We do have Penal Battalion on the retreat. I think Jesulin's really responded to that very well.
No, it's not quite. He's just on seemingly autopilot at the moment. Doesn't seem to fear Havoc quite as much as Havoc may have wanted going into this match. Jesulin is just looking imperious. He's looking like he's pretty much, as far as Havoc goes, unbeatable. And that is sometimes the little bit of the danger in round one tournament play. Sometimes you get matches that it doesn't ever look likely that one of the players will win, and we're still wanting Havoc to surprise us. But he is just about to do that. He has got a Fausti now, so at least the Stern Pioneers may be able to gun down the M3. However, the combat engineers with the flamethrower may deny them. They're on negative cover. They are getting flamed down. They are still getting gunned down by the M3, and there you go. They do get the pickup.
I'm glad he got that. It looked like the Stern Pioneers a little bit distracted there with what the actual target was. There's enough of them there to chase down this engineer, but it's a little bit risky against the penal battalions. They're trying to take some shots on the retreat, but they will not get it.
Not getting it entirely. And the Stern Pioneers, by the way, MVP of this particular game so far. A hell of a lot of kills, and they've done a lot of work. Now have a vehicle kill to their credit as well. Also, what do you think of this choice from Havoc coming out, Dan?
Flak half-track, wow, I mean, we haven't seen this too much. This is a very good unit. In fact, the last time we saw it, I think Von Ivan was just throwing it constantly. I mean, it's a very good unit. I think it's very good on a map like this as well, where you do have those narrow choke points, and you can use it to lock down territory. It's going to be very good on the right-hand side of the map. I think the problem with it is that people tend to move it too much or use it too aggressively, whereas really it's just a mobile flak cannon. You know, but we'll see how he uses it. But I think it's you know, as long as he can get a Raketin out, then I think he's got a good ground with it.
Yeah, that's true. It does make us play a little bit more stationary, so Raketin would actually help him cap around the sides of the map at the same time. Got little terse engagements going on in little pockets of the battlefield right now. Turkish Grenadiers being very brave against two penal battalions, so with combat engineers and the flamethrower following up, they're going to retreat very shortly. In the centre, you got another Turkish Grenadier being very brave, just sticking it out, keeping Havoc on the battlefield, acting as anchor points for him to basically keep hold of his territories. There you go, the flak half-track down, setting up for nearly the first time. He's just going to get into position and then unleash some anti-air shells on some poor expecting him.
Flak.
Correct, sorry, flak, yes. Damn it. It's in the name! I'm going to take flak for that one in chat.
Oh, Kubel goes down on the north side, and whilst we're all ignoring his bad pun there, let's see the flak cannon go towards the penal battalions on the north, and Havoc has to regain as much control of these territories as possible, because whilst he has the VPs controlled, he doesn't have that much territory coming in. Jesulin is being very, very aggressive on that front.
I wouldn't say he's been very, very aggressive. I know you just like, it's just a thing you just say as casting, but in general,
say he's been very aggressive.
No, Jesulin's not been anywhere near aggressive enough for my tastes. He's been very controlled, calm, and collected, and cool, and concerted, and he's a communist. No, he's not. But seriously, he's just literally, he's doing everything he needs to win. He's not going for the jugular. He's not going for the kill. He's respecting his opponent and killing him softly with his touch. And it is good, but it doesn't make for an extremely exciting game. So if you're one of those viewers that is tuning in for this series and the tournament today, we have, Dan, the match earlier today we had, on a scale of 1 to 10, how epic and exciting was it?
Standing by for setting up command post.
8.
You thought that was an 8? I thought it was an 11, quite frankly. And this now is back to being, this is a 5. And we haven't actually seen that much of this in this tournament so far. Most of the matches we've seen have been balls to the wall, riveting entertainment, haven't they?
I mean, I kind of disagree. I'm not just saying he's being aggressive for the sake of saying it. I mean, he has really pushed that cutoff like so much throughout this game. That's really where I'm going with this, is that you know, he's not holding really any VP control because the engagements aren't going in his favor. But I do genuinely feel like he's tried to over-push territory for what he can actually get. I think that's clear in his manpower. Like, he's normally at T70 by this time. He's normally got those things when he plays safe, so he can't be playing his normal game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the time to have a debate. It is starting to get a little bit more exciting at the moment with the Dushka getting pushed away, the combat engineers also getting pushed away. But in general, Dan, I do think Jesulin is possibly compensating for a little bit of rust by being very, very cautious. For example, he floated 1,200 manpower because he had what he needed in the centre on an early game of Crossing in the Woods as OKW, if you remember. And I just feel like he is aware of his limitations right now, but he knows what he needs to do to win. And I think that shows a lot of experience. And I think that is why maybe it's a little bit of an example to players like Aimstrong as don't be aggressive beyond your limits before you're ready to be. Possibly, you know, that's possibly a way of looking at it, I guess.
Well,
sorry, I've killed your enthusiasm.
No, not at all. No, I'm
Okay.
happy for the discussion.
Good man.
And I do really like what's actually happening here, because after that not so aggressive push in the north, he's actually decided to reclaim the south. And he's probably going to get the demo charges there. We've seen demo charges from Jesulin every game that he's played Soviet so far. We do already have the support package on the Stern Pioneers for Havoc, but again, the demo charges just catch you off guard. Like, until you see the first one, you're not going to be totally careful for it. And there's such a kind of negator to widespread play by Axis, just for the fear that you may end up getting triggered by one of these demo charges.
Triggered indeed. And I think that's the beauty, in a way, of that style of play, is it just makes you so paranoid, it makes you so cautious. But I think it's better to look at this match as a sum of the series so far, and Havoc has ran into a crap ton of demo charges, so he should be aware of it, and I surely hope that the first one doesn't catch him off guard, as that peanut time, by the way, very risky escape there. But surely it shouldn't, and he has got the panhandle look on the Stern Pioneer, so he should, in theory, be looking out for that.
T70 did not manage to get the job done on the flak half track. In fact, that took so many shots from the T70. Really do get to see the difference in this unit. I remember I needed a patch a go, and this was an absolute machine on the field. It's definitely not what it formerly was. But just a missed opportunity to take tier 4 down there. I thought he may just about catch it, but it is very well defended by the flak for Ketten. So nice tier 4 up for Havoc. Hopefully he manages to get his tier tech up this time quickly, because last time Panzer IV coming out like 30 minutes into the game, not really ideal.
There you go again, Jesulin with the 120mm. And that clearly indicates to me that it is going this defensive tactics commander to try and get the utility of the 120mm whilst also having obviously the ability to get the Dushka. So it's those two very powerful support weapons replacing tier 2, and then he's going for the anti-tank with tier 3. It's a very interesting strategy. It doesn't require any more fuel than he would have spent on a tier 2. So it actually makes a lot of sense from a strategical standpoint, and I think it's one of the least used commanders that actually has the propensity to be quite strong in the game.
It is one of the least used, but that's what I kind of like at the moment with all the changes that's being made. I think people are feeling a little more flexible with commander choices, and actually it's not necessarily the call-ins that are game deciding now. It's the little things, well, I mean, like the vehicle call-ins, the late game heavies. It's now more about like the support weapon call-ins, as you say, the Dushka over the Maxim or the HM120 over the PM40. It's all of those things that are necessities, and I love it. I think this commander is a really good choice. I know a lot of players who would get very, very good benefit out of using these, so lovely to see, absolutely love to see that these commanders are being used, and the HM120 is going to be phenomenal with its range at trying to take that tier 4 building down when it does get spotted. It's going to be able to just constantly fire on that until it's dead.
And also the PaK 43 88mm anti-tank gun is going to be a prime target for this mortar.
Fortification doctrine here. I mean, I kind of get it, but it's an odd one. I mean, he's got his tier 4 up. PaK 43. Did he watch the game earlier, perhaps, versus GB? Is that where this is from?
apparently it's a little bit more meta than we actually anticipated, this commander. I think it was highly situational against Aimstrong, but it may be just something that Havoc, trusts in and wants to go for. And it's very exciting to see these big pack cannons in the game, because they're just so massive.
Yeah. I mean, it made sense. GB versus Aimstrong, that made total sense to me. He was just taking advantage of the lack of indirect fire, and it worked absolute wonders. Here, it's a different story. I mean, you're playing against Soviets. You couldn't really have a faction with more access to indirect fire than the Soviets. There's just so much that they can field at any point. I would have said this is one of the worst factions to play this against.
It's cost a lot as well. Heavy manpower investment.
I mean, was it really needed now? Was the Pack 43 needed on the field right now? It's built to counter a T-70.
Yeah, a little bit overkill that. That's like you've come up against a very small resistance and they're armed with BB guns, and you bring in a Carl Gustav artillery railway cannon to deal with the problem. Deal with the problem, as in Mitchell and Webb the villain would say. But yeah, it's begging to be countered, Dan. It's absolutely begging for it. Asking for it. Flack, by the way,
I have to say, I really do love seeing. A lot of people don't like seeing it. A lot of people love seeing the really high-paced, top-level competitive play. But I do really love the defensive element to the game that you can get, especially when you can. You do have the option to just make these with OKW. Small pockets of defensive areas. You've got tier 4, you've got anti-tank, anti-infantry, anti-air, just localized in this area. It's just a different mechanic. It makes the game so different at any point. The objective of this game is no longer just micro engagements. The objective of this game is, actually trying to remove building elements from the map. Trying to use the indirect fire. It just changes the pacing, changes the teching. I actually really enjoy that.
I have a statement I must read out because chat is trying to lynch me. I absolutely humbly apologise from the bottom of my heart for referring to the Schwer Gustav railway artillery cannon as the Carl Gustav recoilless gun. This is due to my time playing Battlefield Bad Company 2, and it is deep within my psyche to refer to it as such, and I can only apologise. Hopefully you will now allow Dan and I to get on with the business of casting this game.
We're just
literally 30
we make mistakes.
No, we shouldn't. We're being paid great money, zero money to do the cast, and we should not ever make any mistakes.
Well, this is bizarre. I mean, Pack 40 is currently getting pretty much wrecked by the HM120. I mean, when it gets decrewed, it's guaranteed the HM120 is probably going to be able to destroy the structure too. But he's building the LEFH behind the tier 4, which I would have said you maybe build that first, because the idea of that is you get it to vet 1 and then it's able to counter the indirect fire. Then indirect fire isn't a problem for the things like the Pack 40, which it really is right now. These guys are... Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. I just,
yeah, nice.
They're dead. I'm just looking at them like...
They're dead?
Yeah.
Wow, yep. That's what happens when you build a completely useless giant cannon.
You have to ask. I mean, Havoc clearly sees some kind of benefit in this strategy. He clearly sees the Pack 40 isn't covering any VPs. It's not like it's aimed down. It's not like it's aimed down any of the corridors. And there's you telling me earlier that Jesulin isn't playing aggressive, but from what I can see of Havoc, he certainly feels like he's getting pushed aggressively because he's having to build this so far back in his base. But there it is. It's dead instantly. 500 manpower. Just absolutely wrecked. I don't even think he's going to be able to salvage it when the HM20 is done with it.
It's brutal. Stovepipe is the 120mm, and it's just absolutely eviscerated. That's former Pack 43. And as I say, I mean, I'm not saying Jesulin is playing badly. He's just not playing hyper-aggressive. But that doesn't mean that he's playing badly. He's playing aggressive in just the right amount. Oh God! Oh, combat engineers, Vet 3 do survive. But yeah, he's still playing very well done. It's just that I fear that when he comes up against players like Aimstrong and then possibly Love Nest, which are his next two possible opponents, Jesulin will end up being in 1-hour games if he plays with this tempo. And that's not a bad thing, but for us the fans, but it could be bad for his sanity levels.
Jesulin has his own style. It's a style I really respect and appreciate. Like, he's playing strategy. Some players like to rely on that high level of intensity micro above their opponent. Jesulin's just a good strategist. That was one of the things I always used to really love watching between Jesulin and Love Nest when they used to play, back in the old SNF tournaments and so on. There was this really great mechanic between the both of them because they are both deep thinkers in that respect. So yeah, I mean, Jesulin hasn't changed from what I recall, too much, but he's always been a solidly good player.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. At one point, he was the very best first Grandmaster in Coming Heroes 2. As you just saw something literally get obliterated by Mortifier. 11 kills now. And one of them being the Schwer. Not the Schwer, the the Pack 43 rather.
T-3476 is on the field, just ever more tightening the grip on Havoc here. He's been 2 VPs down for a while. There was a triple cap, which hopefully comes back into effect if Jesulin can just push north. There's nothing really there to contest it. Any mines that were there initially have been triggered already and not capitalized on. I mean, Havoc's got to watch this back, perhaps, and just think, what was the Pack 43 trying to achieve in that location? Against the T70, what was the push really going to be?
I love that. What were you trying to achieve by doing this? You sound like an angry parent. It's true.
I'm just wondering from a perspective. Like he would have known that the HM120 was there. We saw that before. It begs the question where the strategy was going from the start.
And it's not the best advertisement for Best of 5 series. If you want to see a great advertisement for Best of 5 series in round 1, look no further than the earlier match today between Aimstrong and GB Hooligan. Soon to be uploaded on YouTube, probably by the end of today, to be honest. This has been what I would like to call a masterclass by Jesulin, showing you exactly how to play to win in Coming Heroes 2. He's literally shown barely any weaknesses in this series. There you go, the sticky satchel goes in, damages the engine.
Nearly wiping a Volks Grenadier squad with it. I mean, that's one thing that players are going to have to be careful of now, because up until recently, players have never really had to deal with this. But we saw it in that last game with Jesulin, reversing the Lukes back. And the satchel charge goes off on the Lukes, nearly killing the Raketten. It's a whole new mechanic.
And of course, there is the clip up on Code2.org right now of the scout car with the satchel killing a penal battalion, almost like a kind of suicide car way. It was awesome.
Where are we going to be seeing this HM120 drop? Oh, actually, he's dropping flares, so he's using flares at the moment to scout for potential targets, I imagine, for the HM120. Really, this is a unit that could be just constantly harassing the Tier 4, trying to prevent any further tech. He will know now already that fortifications has been picked, so taking the Tier 4 down would be a huge blow for Havoc right now, and that should definitely be the focus of Jesulin's attacks. There we go, SU-80... Sorry, do you want to cover?
Here he comes down, yes, he's coming in with the vehicles. He's got the SU-85 watching over, he's got T-34-76 plinking away. He's also got the combat engineers ready. They're ready and waiting down. He sensed that there was a bit of an opening there with the flares, and he had a little look. But that's what I'm saying, Jesulin isn't overly aggressive. He's aggressive just enough to win.
I feel like he's playing this very, very well. And again, just trying to climb up to 100 pop cap. But he's got a very, very good balanced out army here. I would love to see a Katusha in this. That was a great shot from the SU-85.
Through the smoke. Oh, beautiful. You think you're safe, then just at the last second, an SU-85 shell just comes smashing into you.
So I'm just really wondering what Havoc's plan is here. He's being very, very restrained. And we're going to see the T-34 going around the back. He's going to try and get rear arm on the Panzer IV. Doesn't manage a successful block. It's now in a pretty difficult situation. Takes the Faust. And I think 85 maybe coming up here with another T-34-76 to try and get it down. But they just haven't penetrated the Panzer IV once. Absolutely no damage.
The cavalry has come in now, but it's just not being effective enough. And this is Jesulin saying to himself, this is why I do not rush in. I only ever get punished. Su-85 just managed to find an angle on the Panzer IV, though. The wounded T-34-76 somehow managed to get away. But here come the Panzer Fausts, and they do get the kill. And there you go, Jesulin, with his only truly hyper-aggressive motion in this game, has been punished for it. So probably going to go back to playing steady.
I mean, he's kind of in the position where he can push. He was trying to get the artillery down with the Su-85 there. He's taken a good opportunity whilst everything's been retreated back to the base to cap the munitions and the fuel, so he will be able to get his army back up on the field quickly. But Havoc, I don't think Havoc is really just comfortable stepping out of his base at all. He's got to have that thing in the back of his head right now that this is game 3. Jesulin could close it 3-0. He doesn't want to make any mistakes, but one of the biggest mistakes he might make is actually not doing anything out of fear.
The LEFH is not doing too much at all. I mean, that's got 15 kills, but again, a heavy manpower investment. I think costs a lot of manpower to get on the field. He's already lost the Pack 43, of course. And now he's losing this fair to the Su-85, which is focusing it down. Just like Soldier 76, he's got you in his sights and he's ready for it.
So dangerous. I mean, all these engagements as well, you know, we're just feeding veterancy to the Su-85. Well, it's about to get veterancy 2, and, you know, it becomes very, very strong, actually, especially get a rate of fire. Looks like the Panzer IV, I think he has flipped on Blitzkrieg, trying to get round to the rear armor of the Su-85. This is a really, really nice move. Trying to traverse the turret, his locked turret, so now he's going to be able to deal with the T-70 as well. Just got to be careful with those PTRSs, and I think he's going to make a sensible choice to back out.
To get out of there. He's got his victory. He's not going to get greedy. He managed to circumvent the Su-85's terrible rotation speed. And he's got the spoils of that. Now he just needs to get away scot-free.
Oh, looks like the Tier 4. He manages to get a satchel on the artillery, blows it up completely.
Oh, just as the spare kills the unit itself. So there they go. They sacrificed themselves for the Radina, and they got a very high priority target. So I'm sure that Hero of the Soviet Union medals will be sent home to their family who probably reside in the gulags.
I hadn't really checked the kills on the artillery, but I could see it was doing some damage in base. You know, there's decent shelling everywhere.
Something like that.
Yeah, it definitely done good work on the medics in the base, preventing some healing. So it wasn't a complete write-off as a unit, but yeah, the whole defensive doctrine play is just we can see where it was going. It just hasn't paid off at all.
There you go. He's got this tiny pocket of area now. It's been battered, being wounded, and being pushed around by Jesulin's play. Jesulin's just now waiting for the fuel to probably get the Su-85 up. Here we go, they've got the Panzer IV freshly built. The second one on the field is going to be gunning for this T-70. It's backing its way into the safety of the T-34-76 bigger brother. And has gone
very, very risky. Very, very risky. Triggers the mine. We've got a Raketen coming up on the rear, which may be able to get some rear armor shots in. With the T-70 and the T-34-76. Just trying to make any kind of penetration from the front, but here comes the set from the Raketen, and it's got to be the dead Panzer IV. Such a shame, because 2 Panzer IVs is actually looking like a relatively decent position for Havoc. And again, what looked like a little bit of a comeback, it's just been thrown by a huge overextension, completely unsupported.
He's just built possibly the best thing I can build right now. That's right! It's the King Kubel Ace. It's on the field, 29 minutes in. Havoc is clearly on the way to comeback. This thing is awesome. It's got 4 wheels, an extra tyre on the bonnet just in case one of the wheels gets popped. It's now going for the cap in the southern victory point. The demo is close though, it needs to be kept.
75 points remaining.
I mean, I can kind of understand the decision for people. I mean, how desperate can you be, really, to cap?
If you'd driven into that demo and it exploded, it would have been the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's coming up like 69 VPs left. Havoc's going to try and decap, but Jesulin's got demo charge on the north. Sticky satchel there on the on the Panzer IV, and the T-3476 is coming in. There's a good opportunity to get rear armor. Jesulin should go for this. I mean, I know he's maybe a little scared about any kind of Rakettans, but there's really none around, and nothing at all on the field that's going to be able to deal with this situation.
Not as it counts right now. He's just got an MG34 as Havoc. That's clearly to try and contend for victory points, but quite frankly, I don't think they should be called victory points for anymore. They're the points that hallmark the sound of his defeat. And there's only 66 of them left.
It's just a funny game. I mean, it's a difficult position for Havoc to be in, but he started off so well. Let's not forget the start of this game. Stern Pioneers rushed to the the strategic cutoff down south. They did such a good job. It looked like Jesulin was going to be on the back foot for the majority of the game. That hasn't happened. And, just blame decisions like going for this Pack 43. No need for it.
The Kubelwagen just got killed by the T-70.
I saw.
That is absolutely brutal. And now it's in recon mode. It's capping the south victory point. So the last bastion, last gasp effort of the Wehrmacht war effort, the converted VW Beetle, has now been vanquished by a light tank. This game is clearly not balanced or fit for competitive play.
Consolidate our forces. We are down to... We lost a gun.
There you go, the MG34. The second thing that he thought might get him back into this has now been thwarted. Raketenwerfer for Jesulin's been excellent, I must say.
Yeah, it's been a good run. It's been a very good cap for him.
Go for the ram.
You think he'll ram? I don't think Jesulin's the type
I wanted
of player
to ram, please. Come on, you might as well do it. Just do it. Might be entertaining. Poke him with a stick, Dan. Come on, ram him. Oh, he didn't need the ram in the end. The shells going from that 76mm cannon were more than enough.
This is a very fitting picture for this series, is this burning Panzer IV here.
Well, that's how it all started, mate. Burning Panzer IV and all the art, if you remember.
Oh, yes. It's a very fitting picture. Havoc went into this with a very, very confident mindset. He did suggest he was going to take games from Jesulin, but Jesulin's looking very strong. Clears the series 3-0, leaving Havoc with nothing left on the field. So yeah, not the most exciting of series, but controlled, calm, collective.
Yes, very, very well said, Daniel. It's been an astonishing day of GCS action so far. It's still going on right now, by the way, on Romeo's channel, as I believe he's casting currently. He's casting currently. I thought I had him up on my second screen, but he is well on his way to casting the series. I think he's got Lieutenant Balmy versus I think it might be even Korean Army. I'm just going to double check. No, he's got Tomikaze versus Balmy, and then after that it's Korean Army versus J for Jet. So he's very cool. That. Yeah, me too. Korean Army is another tourney legend that's come back into it. A little bit less, a bit more under the scope, although he did win all 6 of his placement matches, so very exciting regardless. And what a great day of action, absolutely brilliant. Just going to very quickly, Dan, go through everybody that's donated today on the Kickstarter. Just want to quickly give you a shout out in chat, if that's good with you, Dan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Durlis, £20. Below, £20. This is like sports. You know when we read the football results on the radio, Dan?
Yes, yeah.
So Matthias Nilsson, £20. Blaine Atkinson, £20. And then Kisiel, £22. Well done, Kisiel. But everybody that's donated 20, you're gonna get the we're gonna pay somebody to make an emblem when the Kickstarter money comes in, and also we're gonna pay them to make a faceplate. So you're gonna get both of them for £20 donations. All of your money goes into the tournament in one way, shape, or form. We've got a massive prize pool. We've got a humongous live event coming, and the overall tournament quality, the assets we use, everything that we use to make this thing happen gets better and better. For example, one thing is we've paid that coder guy, Kvazar,
you know, a small but modest sum of money for what is quite frankly very professional work to create the battle planner, for example. There's other ideas being bandied around, such as rewarding the balance modders, putting on more show matches. We've got so much use for your money. We want to provide you entertainment, cool stuff, and it will be happening. So continue to arm us with that geld, and we will continue to deliver. We're currently up to £6,112, which quite frankly is awesome. And there are rumours of more to come. So yes, it is very exciting. If you're watching this, I think there's 600 people or so watching. The money, in 2 weeks' time after the Kickstarter finishes, we'll release a full budget on how it's being spent. Just got to wait for the money to come in through the banks and stuff, so I can see how much there is actually to play with. Yeah, it's exciting. What are your assessments of how everything's going, Daniel?
It's bloody brilliant. To be quite frank, we didn't expect anything along the actual, maybe a quarter of the size that it is now. But as you say, there's big announcements still coming. Still opportunities to donate for milestones. I think it's good. Like, so many people, in fact, even people that donated who were just like, KOTO's not a competitive esport. We sit here every day and cast competitive esports. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Company of Heroes, like, we've been doing it for the last 2 years. ESL, Warpaint Championship, all these tournaments, the 2v2s coming in. We should get more tournaments than we've ever had, and to actually see that people are donating and want these kind of events, it's not just good for us as a community, it's also very, very clearly being shouted to Relic that there's a lot of people that care about this game and want to see it carry on going forward. So these kind of things, people have woken up to the idea of KOTO being an esport in its own way.
Absolutely. I think there's only one thing left to do for us today, though, and that's say goodbye, I guess.
Drink some beer. Watch some Romeo casting. It's going to be the good way
Indeed.
forwards. But yeah, thank you very much for everybody following the channel, subscribing as well. You had a couple today, so thank you very much for that. I will host Romeo very shortly. Until then, you guys can just chill out to some nice Company of Heroes 1 soundtrack. Ta-ra! Oh, quick one, AE, actually, before we go. Where is it being hosted tomorrow? Because it's not on my channel.
Is it not? I thought you were going to give me a stream key.
Oh,
So
you're going to host...
You're
actually going to put it on my channel? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I can do that.
Get
That's
the
fine.
codex.
Okay,
It's
so
all set up for
tomorrow
GCS.
it will be on my stream. It just won't be me streaming it. That's all. Okay. Fantastic.
It'll be
Good night,
me.
guys.
In glorious OBS vision. Everybody, the amazing between Devem and not Devem, Jesus Christ, Aimstrong and GP Hooligan. If you haven't seen it, you will want to watch it. It'll be up on YouTube within the next hour and a half, probably next hour. And to be honest, it's going to be one for the ages. So make sure you watch it. Thank you and goodbye.